Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Pretend Problems podcast. I'm Kelsey Cook.
Hi, my name is Chad Daniels, and I'm in a great mood right now. I'm smiling right at the camera when we start because for a couple weeks in a row I haven't, and people have let me know.
Who are the people?
You.
If you want a good laugh, you should watch the first 10 seconds of last week's episode because I started and Chad's not even looking at the camera.
I know. I'm looking at all these fucking pets at the doorway. Like they're the vampires waiting to get invited in to piss on everything.
We're having some issues.
We're having an issue with a cat that fucking pees on everything. It's like, that's why I got a new pillow today. She peed on my fucking pillow, this little twat. And on the couch, it smells like cat piss. We're going to be those people. We're going to be those people that don't know they sit in cat piss and go in public and no one wants to be around. Can't wait. I'm an aunt with a dick. How does that work, I ask you?
First of all, I am so sorry because I know I brought...
But here's the thing. You don't have to apologize. Bringing the pets, that's not... that's.
I know. It's just hard when... If you are in a relationship where you brought some pets and your partner brought some pets and your pet is the one being an issue, you do feel bad because like you didn't sign up for that.
That's like, true. I did not sign up for sitting in this pneumonia funk.
Poe eating tampons, while that has been my fault, is also, I'm sure, frustrating for you a little bit, where you're like, you know, it's just, these are things that like I didn't have to think about before, right. Whatever. You didn't have to worry about cats peeing on things before, and now we live together and it's happening. But her peeing on your comfort pillow is kind of funny because that was also like a big topic of discussion last episode where there are so many comments on YouTube being like, leave him alone, let him have his comfort pillow.
Yeah, but it's not that she didn't pee on the comfort pillow. She peed on our normal blanket that we put on here. She peed on the actual couch and a little bit got on that pillow.
Well, we don't have like camera footage of what she did.
Yeah, but we know where it smells and it's like...
Oh, I thought the pillow smelled the most.
It's pretty well. The good news about this cat is, though, she does pee on things, but she also isn't even the fucking cat that cuddles. She sits by herself like a psychopath. She sits in doorways 40 yards away from you and just stares at you like, oh, we better shut the bedroom door, not for the pissing, for the midnight killing.
She stares at us like we owe her money. And she's like, full Narcos is the vibe I get from her sometimes.
This cat has so much school shooter energy. She's a black cat, just goth as can be. And then just like from 40 yards away. No, nothing. Just staring at you like, you better you better let the bath drip or I'm going to piss on everything you fucking own. And then she does. So I'm done turning the bath on. I played along for a while. I think it's very dumb that a cat can't drink from a dish. And I know, go ahead and send me. They can't see the water. They need it to move. They're cats. Whatever. I played along to turn this bath water on, but I'm done. Because you know what the bath water becomes? Piss on all my stuff.
It's true.
It is true.
I know. I'm sorry.
You don't, again, I don't want you to apologize because I feel like you do feel bad. I'm just like, I'm kind of over it.
I'm over it too. Listen.
She peed on our love sack beanbag all the way through the thing and into the stuffing so you can't get that out. I'm not going to be one of those assholes that tells you exactly how much money she has lost us by peeing on our things, but go ahead and look it up. Google it.
The
love sack.
The love sacks
the
are
big
pricey.
dog. It fucking sucks.
Yeah. I also don't want to be the people who have pee around their house. I ordered, if some of you are listening who have gone through this issue, I ordered the things called the Feel Away. You get it on Amazon. It's like a diffuser you plug into a wall outlet and it's supposed to make, I don't know, release something that makes them happy and not want to pee on stuff. And, has not worked. So now I think I got to talk to the vet about it.
Yeah. This bitch cat will go up to the diffuser, suck all the stuff that's coming off it, right? The smoke or whatever that's coming off this thing, come up to one of us, blow it right in our face. So we get a contact high. We're not pissing on anything, but it's everywhere still.
hot boxing us.
I can't
right
stand
she
it.
ruins
I
our
can't
couch.
stand cat piss. That was the one thing I go, bring your cats. As long as our place doesn't smell like cat piss, because that's when people don't come over. And that's when you start changing your attitude a little bit. That's when you start like, I don't know, reading books that are in a series. Come on.
Those are my favorite kind of books.
That I guess that is true. Of course. So this doesn't bother you as much as it bothers me. I'm a one-off book guy. I like to read a book and be done with it.
By the way, if you're watching the video on YouTube of this episode, our other cat just came and sat on my lap. This isn't the one who pees.
Yeah, that's a different cat.
This is Mia. Mia's...
That's a cat that's also probably sick of this cat piss. She's like, bitch, there's a litter box. There's a litter robot, which you go into the thing. It's like, it looks like, you know, when old ladies get perms and they put that thing down, it looks like a giant one of those. The cats jump in it, do their business, they leave, and then this thing spins it around and sifts out the shit and the piss. We've done our due diligence.
I know.
Now, obviously, we need to start shutting doors for tampons and pissing. But there are certain places that we cannot keep from her.
I know.
So we have a closed door policy on this house until she pisses on the real couch, the real nice one. And then we have an open door policy, and that's the one to the outside. We're going to see how she fends for herself. We'll let her piss on other people's rooftops when she's being carried away by a hawk.
Hey, too far.
Too far. Carry that fucking, please, hawk. Take her too far from here. Well, just teach her a lesson. Bring her to like a cat learning school about where to piss, and then the hawk brings her back.
Yeah, that's what would happen. Well,
I don't know how it works in the wild, wild kingdom. You know, here's also, you know who doesn't know how anything works? Can I bring something up?
Yes.
We went to Victoria's Secret.
Yeah, we were that couple.
Yeah, we don't have to get into this stuff if you don't want to.
No, I'm happy to. Chad, one of the things he got me for Christmas was a Victoria's Secret gift card, which is very sweet, very romantic. Yep. But I did not take you for a guy who would want to go into Victoria's Secret with me. I think you're always so, last episode we talked about that you are like afraid to put your arm around a woman that isn't your partner if that's going to maybe creep her out, like for a picture. So I did not think that you were going to be comfortable going in there with me to shop for lingerie.
Sure. Here's the thing. I'm comfortable going in there with you because we have a mission. When I went to get the gift card, I was fucking eyes down. I mean, just a little bit glancing just to make sure I wasn't going to run into anybody or weirdly like knock over one of the mannequins and have to grab it. And then I'm all of a sudden fondling its tit on the camera or whatever. Like, oh no. Is
that guy finger banging the mannequin?
I hate going in there by myself.
Yeah.
It's torture.
Yeah.
But with someone with a purpose, that's like I'm like your plus one.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that.
Okay.
Because I'm not a perv. I'm not walking around for perv reasons. Now, I did buy her a gift card for Christmas, which is directly out of the older man dating a younger woman handbook. But we have never done any sort of shopping like that.
It was fun. We get a lot of emails saying like, we've been together for a long time. Like, what are things we can do to spice it up or do something new? I thought that was really fun.
Yeah.
I really liked doing that with you.
And I didn't know that, they must be used to it because there are actual beds and interesting couches in the fitting rooms. So I'm sure there's a lot of humping.
There are not
beds. When I did go in to look, when you called me in, you were like, what do you think of this? Not to be this weird guy, but I don't think I could tell you what happened in that, like what was in that room. Cause I was just like, gah.
Well, thank you.
But, here's the issue I had. There was an old lady in front of us buying some stuff.
Yeah.
And you think, Chad, how old was she? Well, she wrote a check for Victoria's Secret.
Yeah.
Just imagine that. You are in this, and I am for it, by the way. This old lady grabbing some like mesh for her
tits
titty.
right.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love it. Go for it.
I think it's great, but I just think writing a check anywhere is funny. Like even at the grocery store, I'm like, fucking, let's go.
Yeah.
And then she's doing it at Victoria's Secret. I laughed for quite a while, actually. I mean, I've been thinking about it since then, and that was a week ago.
Yeah, I would love if in the memo line she just wrote like crotchless or like whatever the fuck she was getting in there. She was old. She was very old.
Get that D.
Get that D.
Oh man, it was. I hate when people write checks anywhere, but now Victoria's Secret. I hope it happens every time we're in there.
Yeah, it was we had to really, really try to get the things we wanted in there. That woman was making it almost impossible. Yeah. It was testing both of our patience, and you have very little.
I have very little patience.
A little more than you, and I also was about to walk out. But here we are. We made it.
We made it. You've got your stuff.
Yeah.
Great.
It's going great. Before we get into the other things we wanted to talk about, let's plug some quick tour dates.
Go for it.
This weekend, I'm going to be in Philadelphia at the Live Casino on Friday. You can see the billboard on the way in. And then on Saturday, I'm going to be performing in Red Bank, New Jersey at the Count Basie Theater. Tacoma was so fun. Thank you to the listeners who came out. All the shows sold out. It was so fun and great. And I was so happy to hear so many people in the merch line say that they listen to the podcast, love the podcast. Nice. People saying like, thank you so much for talking about the fights you have because it makes other people feel more normal for having.
Oh, bitch, we got another one today.
We got another one. We got lots to talk about. But yeah. So
keep going. You can keep going on your updates.
Stamford the weekend after that, if you're in the New York City area, and San Francisco, Rosemont, Chicago, Minneapolis, Madison, and so many more coming up. So kelseycook.com for tickets. How about you?
I am going to be in Key West this weekend, Key West, Florida. And then I'm going to be, after that, well, help me out.
Okay, let me think. Key West.
Yeah, I'm going to be in Key West.
Chad and I are on a mission today to not edit this episode.
Then I'm going to go to Houston, and then I'm going to go to Dallas. Houston is on a Thursday, Dallas Friday, Saturday. Then March 2nd, I'm going to be St. Paul recording a special. April 6th, she's going to be in Madison doing her special. March 2nd for me, St. Paul at the Fitzgerald. I would hurry because I'm about to do press in Minneapolis. So if you do want some, I would grab them. And then after that, I'm going to go to Mexico. I'm going to go to Mexico for a wedding. We are. And then I'm going to come back. I'm going to be at Kansas City, Omaha, and a bunch of other places.
Nice.
ChadDaniels.com. Also, Detroit and Austin, Texas on the way. So just hang tight.
Hang tight. Okay. We've got a few more things to talk about before we get into listener emails. So have you heard of the orange peel theory?
I have, but let me ask you one question before that.
Okay.
Are my eyes looking okay?
Yes.
Okay, because this cat piss is really putting a funk on me.
I'm so sorry.
You don't have to apologize. Please stop apologizing. Then that makes me feel bad.
I know,
I just want us to hate this cat together for 1 hour.
No, I can't hate her.
Well, I do.
She's mad because I'm gone a lot.
Tough shit. Show it other ways. Don't piss on stuff.
I know.
She's never going to see you again if she keeps pissing on things. You can go to a new house and live with other people and piss on their stuff.
No. Okay, so the orange peel theory,
right.
It's been a pretty controversial thing just in terms of some people really hold on to this and think this is like the marker for if you're in a good relationship. And then a lot of other people are like, this is complete horseshit. So the orange peel theory, if you don't know, is this theory going around that if you hand your partner an orange and ask them to peel it for you, if they do, then it's a sign of like happiness in the relationship or like willingness to help the other. And if they don't, that it's essentially doomed.
Sure.
You and I haven't even talked about it at all outside of the show. This is the first time we've talked about it. So I'm curious to know what your thoughts are on it.
Well, I'm one of these people, right? If I do believe that if you ask me to do something, I am probably going to do it. If I smell any sort of test on it, fuck off. I don't need to be tested. I feel like I do enough stuff to not be tested with a fucking orange, right? I mean, that was the big thing from Sleepless in Seattle, the movie with Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan, right? It was when he called in the first call, he's calling into this talk show and he says, oh, my wife could peel an orange in one peel, right? It was like, that was something he remembered. And it's just, the oranges are getting, this is coming from the orange people. This is coming, orange stock prices are down. Everybody knows that. This is coming from Florida. And they are trying to get people to peel more oranges and buy oranges for this test. I think it's ridiculous.
I think it's ridiculous too. And I didn't know if we'd be on the same page about it. Here's how I feel about it. If you are an adult and you have to ask your partner to peel an orange for you, I don't think that's a sign of if your partner's a good person or like a helpful partner. I'm like, what's going on with you that you can't peel an orange?
Yeah. If you come to me in your time of need and I know it's that, I will do pretty much anything.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
This isn't opening a jar. This isn't something like that. This is something that you are able and capable yourself.
Yeah.
So just do it. Like honestly, by handing your partner an orange when you're capable of peeling it, you're being a fucking asshole. You just failed the test.
I agree.
Yes.
Pretend problems.
Now, let's get to that fight.
Now, let's get off each other's team again. Let's fuck shit up.
No, I think this was just a misunderstanding.
Yeah.
Right? That should I tell him what happened?
Sure.
Okay, I always get up second. I 90% of the time get up second in the morning out of bed.
Yeah.
And
you get up after me.
Right. And so because of that, Poe has to go outside, and she is a wonderful pet owner. She loves cats when they pee on things. That's pretty good. So she will bring Poe outside, and we just got a new security system that is like, it's some top-notch shit.
Yeah.
So you open the door. If you open the door and it's armed, then you have 30 seconds to put the code in, or it's going to send cops and it's going to be real loud in the house. And so she went outside today. Didn't know I'd armed it last night.
Can I give a little backstory?
Please.
We had it installed 2 weeks ago.
I think so.
2 weeks ago, and we hadn't turned it on yet. Because we'd been home generally. We didn't want to worry about it when the cat sitters were here when we were gone. And so we had discussed last week that we would start turning it on when we got back.
When we got back, yeah.
But it's been a week since you said that.
Sure.
So wasn't on my mind that we were going to start doing that yet.
Right.
Okay.
Now, if I missed, do you think if you told me 1 week ago we had couples counseling and I was at the golf simulator and I got back and you were like, where the fuck were you? We had couples counseling. And I was like, I was at the simulator. Oh, you told me about couples counseling a week ago. I can't remember a week ago. Do you see where I'm coming from?
But to me, an appointment, that's something you write in a planner. Okay. Us having a conversation of oh, we should start doing. I feel like in our relationship, we do a lot of we should, blah, blah, blah. Oh, we should do this. Or we should do that. But a lot of the things we don't end up doing.
Okay.
So to me, us saying oh, we should turn that on when we get back, that's not confirmed to me that we're doing it unless you say by the way, look at you pursing your lips right now.
I'm just excited because you've forgotten a very key part of the conversation.
Okay. I just think it would be nice, especially for something like this, where if the alarm goes off and I'm not prepared for it to, which is what happened this morning, it's a very panicky, it's a more high stakes situation because I didn't initially remember our code to turn it off.
Okay.
I did eventually, but I lost all of the hearing in my right ear.
Yeah.
To do that. I'm sorry if I'm shouting today.
It's going to scare people away. There's no doubt about it. I'm going to tell you this. So, I do think in the grand scheme of things, last night after I armed it, that I should have just been hey, just so you know, I armed it. So if you get up in the morning, just make sure you turn it off.
Yeah.
Okay. In the grand scheme of things, that is how I feel. When we had this conversation, I said, okay, when we get back, let's start using the alarm. Start putting it on when we're home, because Poe was barking the night before we left and we did not have it on. And I'm like, God damn it. Now I got to walk all over the place and make sure no one's in here. And so then we said that. And then you go, that's a great idea. And then we said, it starts with a D, E-A-L, deal. We said deal. And so to me, deal does confirm it.
Okay.
But I will tell you, there's a beard hair in my mouth. I will tell you that I do think the courteous play is to just go, just so you know, I set the alarm. That's the courteous play.
Yeah.
The get out of jail free card that I feel like I have here is that we said deal.
Okay.
Because sometimes I feel, you know, when you tell me something, and this is just a me thing, but when you tell me something and then you tell me again later that week, I just go, what do you think, I'm a fucking child? That's what I think in my head. I go, why do you keep telling me this? Do you think I'm that dumb?
Really?
Sometimes I feel like that. But you don't do that often. I think you trust me to remember, which is great because I did. Oh, this is a very funny example. We had a couples counseling, our first get together with this gal. And
our first session.
And you go, oh, hey, don't forget, tomorrow couples counseling is at noon. Mm-hmm. And I said, oh, shit. I have scheduled an interview with Larry the Cable Guy's show on XM. Mm-hmm. And it's like right at the same time. And I could tell you were a little disappointed, but you weren't mean to me. You weren't like, hey, you fucking idiot, write it down. You didn't say any of that stuff. But I could kind of tell it was like like one of those. Yeah. And then we found out it wasn't at noon. It was at 2 because it was noon central.
Yeah, I mixed up the time.
And can I tell you something? That felt fucking great.
I knew it.
It felt great. I didn't say anything either. I didn't say anything either, but it felt incredible. Mm-hmm. It did.
I was so pissed. I had like a clean victory and then I fucked it up, fumbled at the finish line.
Well, no, I mean, I don't think there's a fumble. I do think it was very nice that you didn't call me dumb for not remembering. And I think it was very nice that I didn't pile on when you felt a little sheepish about that. I think, I think when I believe that there's not a lot of resentment in our relationship because I think that's when people start doing that to one another. It's like, I resent you for something already. Like if you resented me for something, like leaving the door open and your cat's gone, right? Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, I promise you I won't do that. But you look a little panicked. But then
you just said it so deadpan that I was like,
oh, I know. Yeah. Well,
excuse me?
I'm trying to hold my breath every time I talk because there's cat piss over here.
I told you I'd sit there.
So if I open the door and the cat gets out, a lot of resentment in that. And then I double book something that's important. That's when you go, oh, you fucking idiot. You can't shut a door. That's when old past stuff has an invitation to get reunited with the present.
I agree.
And that's why you have to clean up your shit, right? It's like resentment are like dishes in the sink. Mm-hmm. You should really do them after the meal and make sure they're not stacking. Because if they stack, goddamn, that's trouble city.
Yeah. That's when, like you said, you have fights over things where it's like, oh, this isn't like, we're not fighting about this little thing. We're fighting about this plus whatever you haven't sorted through. Right. So, yeah, I thought we handled that well when that happened. I thought we handled this morning well. I
came and gave you a hug as an olive branch, and I just said, you know what? I'm sorry. What did I say to you? I said something that didn't. You
said sorry that your
Sorry, that's how your morning started.
Sorry, that's how your morning started.
Right. I did not say sorry. I didn't tell you because I don't know that I was sorry yet.
Are you now?
I mean, here's what I think. I think it can go both ways on this. I think we'd have to go to a jury of our peers. And I think if there were more women on the jury, I'd lose. And if there were more men, I would win. More Gwen Stefani, then I would win. Because I feel like we had a deal. But I really do think that I should have done a thing.
You didn't technically. No, it's okay. You didn't technically do anything wrong. It's just one of those things that.
Clip it, Justin.
I would have appreciated you telling me because it was the first time we were ever doing it.
Right.
And I did need a refresher on like what the code was. And it was just like, that's a tough way to start your morning where you're like groggy. You're like putting the dog on the leash. You're walking outside into the cold. And I open our front door and I just start here, beep, beep, beep. And I'm like, oh,
time bomb.
The fuck is that? And then I realize what it is. And I remember that you have 30 seconds to turn it off, and Poe's like about to start peeing. I'm like, oh fuck. So I like grab Poe. I like pull him frantically. This is like the first like 5 minutes of my day. Frantically pull Poe back into the house, drop the leash, sprint from our front door to the alarm, which is like a ways away. I get there as it's going 3, 2, 1, and I punch in what I thought was the code, and it just goes wrong code. And it's like the loudest. I mean, I think where the majority of my anger was coming from this morning, was because like my ears physically hurt. It was, if like you're in a hotel and a fire alarm goes off, you can at least use both your hands to cover. I had to abandon one ear to try to punch in a different code, and you're like inches from the thing that's making the loudest sound. And so anyway, it just was one of those, like, that was like a very hard way to start the day.
A lot of people start their day with getting up, a glass of water, you face the sun. It's all in silence. You meditate, you shit. You really take your time going into the day, and yours started with, wake up! Wake up! I mean, that's a lot.
I system of downed this Monday morning. Not a good way to start the week. Yeah. Not a good way to start the day. So I just felt like this was so rough, and this could have so been prevented if you would have just like given me a heads up.
Now, what I really would have loved is giving her a heads up and still having her forget overnight. That would have been...
Then you would have had...
the cat's piss.
0.
Listen, so, I've talked about... I'm going to talk about something we did last night. We watched Mr. and Mrs. Smith. So on Prime, there's a new series, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. And it's, the names of the people. Brad
Pitt, and Angelina Jolie.
No, I'm sorry. The series.
The new one that just came out? Donald Glover, and I don't remember her name, but she's from Pen 15.
Right, sure.
Yes.
And it's great, right? So we were maybe thinking about watching that, but first we wanted to watch the movie, the OG, right? And you watch this movie and you go, God damn, those are two really good looking people.
I mean, I would argue top 3 best looking man and woman on the planet.
Yeah, there's scenes with like Angelina Jolie's got a skirt on and she's got a gun in her hand and definition in her legs, and then Brad Pitt takes his shirt off because they're humping and he's all Brad Pitty.
They're so hot.
And it's great. And then you start to remember, if you have abandonment issues, you start to watch this movie and you go, oh goddamn, Jennifer Aniston was with Brad Pitt at this time. Jennifer Aniston. Okay, Rachel from Friends. Women across the world cut their hair based on how she had her hair.
Yeah.
Just the cutest fucking thing you could imagine. Rachel from Friends. People hated Ross. Ross got punched in the street. The real guy that played Ross got punched in the face.
David Schwimmer?
For having fake sex on a TV show and cheating on Rachel when they were on a break.
I didn't know that.
That's how much people love Jennifer Aniston. And Angelina Jolie is so hot that messed that up. So when people have abandonment issues, you go, hey man, you got to get over it. Do you? Rachel from Friends got cheated on. I don't know that you should ever get over abandonment issues, because they're coming. They're coming down the pipe.
that audio bite from Bridesmaids has been going around TikTok, where it's like, you can't trust anybody ever. It's like totally what you're saying.
It is strange to think about, because you go, fucking Jennifer Aniston got cheated on? What the fuck's going on in this world?
Beyonce got cheated on.
By whom?
You serious?
No.
Okay. I was going to be like, how the fuck do you not know about it? There's an entire album based on this. Yeah. I mean, it's wild.
It's terrifying. Because Jennifer Aniston, maybe there's, what would you say, a handful of people. We're talking 2005, I'm going to guess. Yeah. A handful of people were more adored than her on planet Earth. And she got cheated on. That is the craziest shit in the whole wide world. Also, do you want me to blow your mind? Brad Pitt is 7 years younger than my mom. What?
How old is he again?
60.
It's so weird to think of him in his 60s.
Brad Pitt is 60 years old. And I understand that in 2005, that was 19 years ago. So he was 41, but still, he's 60. And if you look at a picture of him now, you're like, God damn, that's still Brad Pitt.
It'll always be Brad Pitt. I mean,
don't say it like that. Oh my God.
But it's like, not only is he so genetically blessed, he has access to all of the world's best skincare supplements.
Right.
You know what I mean? He's going to look
and he gets them for free.
Forever.
See, that's why if you're that good looking where you're in Thelma and Louise and they go, oh, women across the country just flick their bean to you and you were in one scene, we're going to put you in everything.
Yeah.
Then people are like, here are the clothes. We're going to get you the workout you need free of charge. All these movie studios are like, here, keep your skin nice. Do this. Those biceps, those got to keep pumping. Do this. And he's just sitting there. He gets a chef at home. I mean, that's pretty amazing.
Whatever he had to do to look the way he did in Fight Club, I mean, I can't even imagine.
It wasn't good. I read he drank at night and wouldn't drink water, so he would get so dehydrated that you could see every fiber of his muscle.
Oh.
Now, I'll drink at night, but I will also drink water. I'm basically just carrying around some water weight right now. I'm fine.
I'm shocked he would do that, because doesn't alcohol make you bloated?
It dehydrates you.
Oh, I'm so bloated after I drink.
Oh, well, you're allergic to everything.
Oh. Yeah, that's true.
Oh, sorry, buddy. Is this in your way?
Oh, shut
You just went to lay down.
Up.
Guess who won this again?
If you're watching on YouTube, Chad is holding up his puzzle championship belt.
Wordle, Quirtle, Nerdle.
He got me again in a 3-week sweep. Just a clean,
back to
immediately.
back. That's 6 weeks of pure domination. And 2 of them were Nerdle. I don't know if you remember that episode. But.
Oh, whatever. It's fine. I'm going to fucking dust my knees up. Dust my knees up. Dust my knees off.
I hope you dust your knees up. Because you know what that means. Let me move my belt.
Gonna put that Victoria's
Let
Secret
me move
gift card
my
to good
belt.
use.
Dust your knees up a little bit.
Ugh. Whatever.
Should we take some questions?
Let's take some questions. And then in our next episode, we will have had another couples
we should
therapy
talk about
session.
that too.
And I think, we had a really good experience. And we can get into more details on the next episode. But the first one, I like our lady a lot. She knows what she's doing.
Yeah.
What?
Nothing. Watch the episode.
Are you trying to get my password? I already told you my password.
I wasn't trying to get your pad. I would never do that.
Oh, what were you doing?
I was maybe disagreeing with how couples counseling went.
He really liked it.
It was good.
It was good. She really buttered us up initially. And then toward the second half was so what are some things that you've been having a hard time talking through or disagreeing on? And she was just so smart, because by the time we got there, she was what drew you to each other and what made you fall in love with each other? And you're saying things that you've, we've told each other these things, but to tell a third party while the other person is sitting there, it's very romantic.
Yeah. And she also, when she started, she would ask me a question and I go, well, Kelsey, do you want to answer it? I go, I'm not going to do a lot of talking today. I just want to kind of see what's happening. Cut to a half hour later, could not shut the fuck up. Yeah.
I also rolled my eyes so hard when you said that. You started the session. It's a video session. So I'm okay, scoot over here. Be in frame. And you
I don't like being.
I don't want to be in the frame.
I don't like being.
We're not.
I know, but I don't like it.
I think that's one of those things where it's kind of it doesn't matter if you don't like being in frame. If we're doing a couples counseling session, she's not going to just see me and hear a voice
to make a judgment on what I'm talking about.
Chad.
Okay, let's take some questions.
Okay. So ridiculous sometimes. So this is titled, oh, by the way, if you want to write in, it's pretendproblemspodcast@gmail.com. For us to give you advice. So this is titled, My Partner's Physical and Mental Health Fucking Suck.
Whoa.
Okay.
So just so you guys know, I haven't seen any of these questions yet.
Okay. Well, we're coming in hot.
Yeah, let's do it. This is electric already.
They say, hey, Chad and Kelsey, my partner has had a multitude of health issues. They are extremely diligent with going to their appointments and taking necessary medications, but despite that, still experience a lot of symptoms and side effects that severely disrupt their day. Due to their age, and then they put in parentheses, feeling too young to have so many health issues, and the constant daily issues they deal with, their attitude fucking sucks. I understand that their feelings are valid and they should feel free to express their displeasure, but we have a family, a home, careers, and all the challenges that encompasses. While I am navigating to the best of my ability, I feel the added weight of my partner's mental health draining my own. I have asked them to seek counseling or therapy to address this on many occasions, and while they agree, they have not followed through. I want to stay empathetic because I am sure what they are experiencing is really difficult, but their attitude some days and their constant mood changes make it very trying. They have no answer as to why they haven't made their mental health a priority. How do I navigate tampering down feelings of annoyance or resentment so that I can continue being an empathetic and supportive partner? Man.
So
this is a big one.
I don't think I should be allowed to answer this because this is clearly about my partner from my other podcast, Middle of Somewhere. This is from his wife.
It is not from his wife, but that'd be very funny.
Do you want to go?
Man, I think it's so hard when you have somebody in your life that you know would really benefit from therapy, but they're not willing to go. I think sometimes it's even more frustrating when they say they are willing to go, but then just never do, because it's like, I say this quote a lot on the podcast, the whole like, you can't control the people around you, but you can control the people around you. But like, that is even hard to apply with this because this is your partner. Like, you can't control if they go get therapy, but you probably don't want to like threaten the relationship.
Right, because you said you have a family.
Yeah.
But I got to tell you, man, this kind of stuff, I'm all for working on mental health, but if people don't, let me take a step back. Here's what I used to do with my kids. They would come to me with a problem and I would give them advice, right? Because I'm older, I've been through stuff. I go, I think this is what you need to do. And then they would never do it. And then they'd come back to me with the same problem. Yeah. And I'd go, I'm not interested in this problem anymore until you take some action to fix it. And then if that doesn't work, come back and we'll devise another plan. But I don't want to hear the same problem after nothing's been done.
Yeah.
So for someone to come to you with a poor attitude over and over and over, that is such a fucking energy suck. And it is brutal. So you said, how do I maintain empathy and avoid resentment? I don't know that you do. And you might want to mention that to them. You might want to go, here's the deal. I've been empathetic. And I have made sure resentment doesn't build up. And I've asked you to go to therapy and you said you would, but now you're not. And so now those other things are starting to corrode a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's not a threat. It's just, that is what's happening here. Because you've asked, they're not going, and eventually you're going to go, well, fuck you. And you don't want to get to that fuck you point because that's a tough spot to put it in reverse, I think.
Yeah. I've had people in my life in this sort of a situation, and what they have done is they have given themselves a date, almost like a deadline of like, you know what, this is my action plan so that I can feel like I'm in a little bit more control here. I'm going to have a conversation with them, you know, maybe the one that Chad just mentioned, where you're like, you really make it clear how you're feeling and the toll that this is taking on you. So you're re-emphasizing again, like, I really need you to get help with this. And then maybe you mark in your calendar for like a month later or 3 weeks later, 2 weeks later of another check-in. And if they haven't, 1 week. And if they haven't taken even one action step to getting help, then I think you need to start really asking yourself some questions, because we've answered other, you know, advice questions on here of like, do you want to wake up 50 years from now if this, like with this partner, if this is going to continue to be your day to day?
Yeah. Do you want 50 more years of this?
Yeah. I'm
going to say no, but we're not even close to that. I say also prepare yourself for what's going to come back, right? If you say, you know, I've been empathetic and I've been making sure that resentment doesn't build up, and then, but I'd really like you to do this. You're going to hear like, you don't know what I go through on a daily basis. You're going to hear that. So, and they're right. You don't.
Right.
But still, then you have the ability to go, well, you go through this on a daily basis because you're not getting any help.
Yeah.
I mean, so just be prepared for the initial rebuttals that will come, and maybe get ready for that too.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. So this next email is called Comedy Borrowing.
Comedy borrowing.
They say, good afternoon. Maybe 5 or 6 years ago, I went to a comedy show benefit at a local bar. I watched as one of the comics started a bit about his kids ask too many questions and he rolls out a podium to answer questions twice a day. It was Chad's bit.
Yeah, I was going to say that's my bit.
It was Chad's bit word for word. I'm not trying to call this comic out, but I've seen him on late night and he has had some success touring the country in recent years and I can't get over it. My question is, what are your thoughts on comedians doing bits that aren't theirs? Love the show. Can you please tell us who this is?
Fucking tell me who it is. You have to. I promise you, I mean, you have my word as a truth teller. I would not make it public. I wouldn't put it on this show. No. I wouldn't put it out for anyone to see. I just think normally when this happens, it's an open micer that wants some money, that wants to feel like they're working. So they have to borrow, from certain comics. Also, let this be a reminder that I do goodwill even when I'm not there. Okay? My bits are making money for others. They're raising money at this benefit, and I'm not even there. So it's like, I don't know. Do I get into heaven, or do I still have to do all the stuff?
Please tell us. Please.
I really would love to know who it is. It was interesting because I was doing a show in Austin, Texas a week with this guy. And then Sunday there was a show in San Antonio, and the comedian that had opened for me in Austin didn't know that I was good friends with the manager of the club in San Antonio and did like all my stuff. And the guy recorded it. And so he texted me, hey, this guy's doing your stuff. I go, it's probably just like parallel thinking or whatever. And he goes, no. And he sent me the thing, and it was 7 minutes word for word. And I thought it was so funny. And I go, I got a hold of the guy and I said, why'd you do the bit? Or why'd you do this? I heard you did 7 minutes of my stuff. And here's what he said. This guy is full of charm. He goes, I got nervous and forgot my bits.
Oh boy.
And then could only remember yours because of how funny they were. So I did those. Come on.
Shut up.
You want to fuck too? Let's go. I'll bring you to dinner after that. Hot damn. As long as you don't have cats that piss on stuff, I'm in.
I'm on thin ice in this relationship because of Bungaloo. So, man, I just think there is nothing more violating than hearing that something like this is happening. Because as a comic, you work so hard. I mean, like your bits, I don't have kids of my own. So your bits are like your kids. So when somebody steals your bit, it feels like they stole your kid. I feel very strongly about it. It's horrible, horrible. So let us know.
Yeah, because normally you go, somebody that steals bits never gets ahead in this business. But now you've seen them on late night and they're touring.
Yeah,
I would really like to know. And again, I understand you not wanting to start shit, but I'm giving you my word as someone who hasn't lied in a very long time that I would not make it public. We would just giggle about it and maybe say some bad things about the person to one another, and then that's it.
Yeah. I have a guess about who it is because I've seen this person do that before. Oh. And they're like a touring comic.
All right. Well, please send it in.
Okay.
Please.
We're going to do one or two. We have to do a little shorter of an episode today, but
yes.
Okay. So this is titled, My Friends Are Telling Me That I Should Get Into a Relationship. They say, hi, love the podcast. My friends have been trying to get me into the dating scene for the past few years, saying that it'd be good for me. The problem is that I love being by myself. I vacation alone, work alone, live alone. Are my friends right? And what is the benefit of being in a relationship? By the way, 30s male, have never been in a relationship before.
Okay. Can I?
Yeah.
Your friends don't fucking know. You know. You said you like being alone and you like traveling by yourself, then do it. And if you find someone that outranks your love for being alone, then that will work out. But you don't need to go get in a relationship because your friends think you do. Unless you're like the weird guy at the party.
Well, when your friends are saying that they think it would be good for you, I guess I'm wondering, like, why do they think that? What are your friends saying to you? Like, because you make it sound like there is no real problem in your life, like no issue,
Right.
that you enjoy being alone. So I would say only if the reason your friends are bringing it up seems valid to you, of that like you do think it would benefit your life, then I mean you shouldn't force a relationship just because
Yeah.
your friends think
And also,
it's good
how
for
happy
you.
are your friends in their relationship? Because I know one thing, misery loves company, bro. And
Yeah.
if they think it sucks and they want to bring 2 more people onto this suck train, then that's the only reason they're telling. Don't get on the suck train. Ride your fucking motorcycle all around by yourself. Who gives a shit? Because guess what? You put somebody you don't love on the back of that motorcycle with your little microphone things where you talk back and forth. That's not going to be fun. You used to have the wind in your hair, and now it's like, can you stop at the next gas station? I have to pee. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Chad really loved his single time.
I didn't love my single time. But because I love being around, but it's like, if I did love my single time, I certainly would not have let my friends tell me to get in a relationship just because.
Yeah.
Or just because it says I have to in the Bible or whatever.
Patton Oswalt has a great joke about this same thing, but for people who live in New York City, who like, come on, it's so great, you gotta move here. But they just want other people to be so fucking miserable with them in New York City. When he says, what is the benefit of being in a relationship? Would you like to share?
Well, I mean, you know,
aside from your
there's these
furniture
things like,
being ruined.
There's these things that come out on social media all the time when you hug someone or you sleep next to someone you love, there's different chemical reactions in your body. I don't know if any of that's true. I feel like I could put something like that on a meme. It's like, hey, just so you know, when you hug your partner, your fingernails grow slower, so you won't have to cut them as much. I mean, I just made that up, and people would probably start hugging their partner more because of it. But yeah. I think benefits are, well, I just really enjoy being around her. That's the benefit, right? It's like I enjoy being around her, and now because we're in a relationship, I get to be around her all the time. I mean, yeah. So I don't know that there's a benefit unless you really like the person you're in the relationship with. So I don't think there's a benefit to a relationship. I think there's a benefit to a specific someone.
I agree. There's pros and cons to both. I think there's a lot of peace that comes with being single.
Peas?
Peeing? A lot of peace that comes from being single, you know, but there can be a lot of loneliness. And I think in a relationship, you can experience really high highs and that amazing feeling of being in love and sharing your life with somebody. But also when your partner doesn't tell you that they're setting the alarm on, then it can make it so you lose hearing permanently. So it's kind of like...
Yeah, I mean, I guess we could never set the alarm and let the intruders come in. They won't steal anything anyway because everything's been pissed on.
And scene. Okay, we actually have to. We
do have to take off. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for sending in questions. If you want to send in more questions, it is pretendproblemspodcast@gmail.com. Please, if you're watching on YouTube, leave a comment. I'm going to start responding to comments. I've been really lame about that. Leave a comment if you want. Please subscribe and leave a review, preferably 5 stars if you want. But it does help move it around a little bit.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. See you in Philly and Red Bank this weekend. You can see Chad in Key West, Florida this weekend.
That's right.
And we'll talk to you next week. Bye.